Mane fa say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Okay.
Well, I mean, first of all, I think Richard must know that the prisons are not zoos. You understand? A zoo is a place where beings are kept for public to go and view and so on. The prison is not a zoo. It's a prison. This whole clamor about openness, about the incarceration of Sednam, Tamaklo, and so on, doesn't make any sense to me at all. You understand? She was extradited. Government could have reviewed the extradition request. It didn't. She was extradited. She's here. The argument is that when she arrived, we didn't see photographs of her arrival. Who tried to take a photograph of her was stopped. Nobody tried to take a photograph of her and was stopped. Now we're being told that some people want to go to the prison and see her in the cage before they believe that she's in prison.
Yes.
Okay.
The Misha NP, Bafwejewa.
No problem. They're allowed to go to the prison. The prison is turned into a zoo. They go to the prison, they see her in the cage, and they leave. What prevents them from saying that as soon as they left, she was taken out of the cage again? And then it goes on and on and on. You know, no state, decent state, is run on the basis of conspiracy theories. You understand? No state is run on the basis of conspiracy theories. And Ghana cannot be run on the basis of conspiracy theories. Why? Is the minority saying that all of Ghana's institutions cannot be trusted? The police service cannot be trusted. The prison service cannot be trusted. The courts cannot be trusted, and so on. Is that their claim?
Yes, that's what
largely, yeah.
That's your claim?
Largely, yeah.
That all of our state institutions cannot be trusted?
There's reason not to trust them.
So you don't trust all
I'm
of the
not saying that, but there's reason. They've created that doubt. So it's possible not to trust them.
Do you trust them?
Proof is necessary.
Do you trust them?
I'm saying that there's reason why you shouldn't trust them. There's reason.
My goodness.
Yeah, of course. There's reason.
My goodness. My goodness. I mean, if this is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm going to say why.
He has issues with the state institutions. He's entitled to have issues.
Yeah. All of the state institutions.
All of them, yes.
All of the people who are serving in the state
institutions. And it says he has reasons.
Some of them are NPP, some of them are NDC, some of them are PNC, and so on, cannot be trusted. Ghana cannot be trusted. My goodness. There's a huge statement, a very, very huge statement coming from somebody like my brother Richard. What then do you think Ghana is? What then do you think that Ghana is at the moment? If no state institution can be trusted, then why are you here?
Well, this is our home. We can't go anywhere else.
What are you doing here? If nothing can be trusted in Ghana.
Where should we go? That's why we are working to unseat the government so we can restore confidence. That's what it is.
Yeah, but if nothing can be trusted in Ghana, how can you unseat the government?
We didn't say nothing can be trusted.
What he's telling you is that until and unless the NPP comes to power, we can't trust any state institution.
No, that's not even what I'm saying.
He says
but then,
NPP wants to come to power.
Listen to me carefully. If nothing can be trusted in Ghana today, it means that you would never come to power.
How?
If everything is so corrupted as to be working in favor of the government and so how can you then come to power?
Right.
It means that no process can be fair. No institution can deal with you fairly and so on. Which simply means that you're coming back to power. It's impossible.
No, Kwesi, no. I just gave you evidence why this government came in, says that they won election on the back of Operation Recover All Loots. Page 136 of their manifesto says that. Big thing. They won on the back of that. Even before President Mahama took over, forms a committee. Okay? Now comes to government. The first order of business is to clear people who are on facing corruption charges in the courts. Why
That's
is
not what
that?
I'm discussing.
But I'm saying, but that's why you can't trust the system.
You're saying that no state institution can be trusted.
I am saying that there is
Which
reason.
means that
of course,
you will never come back to power.
No. I don't know. That's your conclusion, not ours. I'm just telling you
That's
that
the logical conclusion.
No, your conclusion. That's not logical.
If you can't trust the
because
courts,
we are working to improve it. Kwesi, the democracy is a business of working to ensure institutional independence. It's work in progress. Now you get to a phase where there is a deliberate effort to weaken state institution. That is a problem. That's the job of democracy, to ensure the sustenance of our democracy is towards ensuring institutional independence. But we are at a phase where those institutions are systematically being weakened. We are talking to you about a police or a security system that apply different standard to opposition elements and different standard to government affairs. Yeah, so you are refusing to
allow me to make my conclusion.
No problem. But you are refusing to see the points I've made and just drawing that, oh, I said everything. I'll make specifics.
I specifically asked you, Richard, whether we've come to the point where no state institution can be trusted. And you emphatically stated that no state institution can be trusted. You don't have any confidence in any state institution. Those are your words.
No, I mentioned a few, but you are now saying all. You didn't give me a chance to speak a few. But I mentioned a few. So the ones I mentioned, the police, the judiciary, the attorney general, all the system that is going on. You saw that recently when Bono regional chairman was arrested, the kind of conduct they took them through, the judgment that is coming from the court, the animal farm judgments and justifications that were used to justify a ruling against the person. So I'm saying that
this is not a difficult exercise.
No, it's you are making it difficult.
Now you say that you have not lost confidence in all states.
But that was what I said. That's what I said.
No, that's not what you said.
No, you were asking me all, and I said there's reason not to trust Uncle Kwesi.
Richard.
Yes, sir.
Why? Now you decided to amend the statement.
No, I haven't amended. What I said, you were asking me.
So you have no confidence in all state institutions.
I didn't.
Are you standing by that?
I mentioned the ones that we have issues with relative to what I said. The prisons, we don't know if she's there, so we have to go there and confirm. The police, we didn't know if they took her there. The government, we can't trust it, so we want to have proof. Okay. And that's why there's proof.
Now, which are the state institutions that you don't have confidence in? I would allow you to make that choice.
That's not the point. That's not the point at issue.
But that's the government of your argument.
No. The government of my argument
is based on lack of trust in all. Now you say some state institutions.
I didn't say all.
Okay, so which are
I don't know. You should say what you want to say. The point I made it here whilst you were sitting. I am saying that we don't trust the government's selective delivery of justice. And in justice delivery, what are the institutions part of that ecosystem?
No problem.
Okay? That's you. So the issue
which
is
are the state institutions that you don't have confidence in?
You make your point, because I don't know. You make your point. I don't know where you are going with this. Make your point, because the point I made is that you should understand what I said, that we don't trust that Senidam Tabaklo is going to be treated the way she ought to be treated, because she came in as a convicted person. But we don't know where she is at now. Whose responsibility is that to ensure that Ghanaians know what is happening to her after she's been convicted? Whose responsibility? But we don't trust the people who has that responsibility. The police, the prisons, we don't trust it. The government itself, by its conduct of being selective, clearing its people and persecuting opposition element, we don't trust that it will. The government itself will ensure that conviction is served. So these are the matters that are raised. I'm specific, so I'm not sure why you are trying to divert attention from what I said and say that all institutions. I'm specific. So answer the question.
Diverting attention.
Because you are saying all, but I didn't say. I said relative to these matters.
Yes, sir.
Based on my understanding of what Richard is saying, he has issues with the prisons. He doesn't trust what he said.
Hey, are you now Richard's
because I realized that
he will disagree with you.
No. There's a back and forth. I want to see what I understand where he's coming from.
So let him state it himself.
Okay.
So we are clear.
Okay.
He's going to disagree with you very soon.
No.
So he should tell us which species he doesn't
I don't know why Kwesi is making.
So it will enable him
to make his point. No problem.
Yes.
No problem. So what I'm saying is that this government, we don't trust, will be fair in justice delivery. It's selective. And I'll show you reasons why. Giving you cases of NDC people they've cleared. One election to prosecute corruption, but yet being selective. Okay, so we don't have confidence in that, in the government. The institutions that are supposed to carry out the mandate of justice delivery, the police involved, they are not fair arbiters of the process. They will arrest opposition element, treat them one way. When government persons offend the law, they'll treat them different.
So the police, let me write it.
The police, we can't trust them. So in that chain, we can't trust them. And when it comes to Sedinam Tamaklo, the concern was that the prison is not zoo. Even though I didn't say that, that's your word. I didn't suggest the prison was zoo, so we should go and look at them. That's your word. But the point is that if somebody is convicted, that person must serve the sentence. And an individual was convicted in absentia. A process has brought her back. Not that she just showed up at her own will. A process has brought her back, which means that we knew she's coming. And the minute she comes, she must go to serve that sentence. But now, we don't know where the person is. We must know. We must know. And now that, because we don't know, and because we don't trust the government, okay, we don't trust that she is serving the sentence. This is the basis of the lack of trust.
No problem, Master, no problem. So, do I understand you to say that now, when criminal convicts are sent to jail, the public has a right to go and inspect them in jail in order to confirm that criminal convicts are in jail?
Yeah, logically.
Is that what we are saying?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
What do you find wrong with that?
I make no comment on that.
Okay.
If that is what we are saying, I make no comment on that. The public can make their own judgments and so on. I make no comment on that at all. That when people, criminal convicts, are in jail, we as Ghanaians have a right to go to the jailhouses to inspect them in their cells. Otherwise, justice has not been done. That's what we are saying. Fine, let's proceed. I have no problem with that at all.
But you shouldn't.
Yeah, I have no problem with that at all, if that is the statement you are making. Anyway, this morning I've read a lot of the stories about Ken Ofori-Atta and so on. And I'd like to dwell on this particular one, published on page 8 of the Insight. And a portion of it says, his legal team, that is Ken Ofori-Atta's legal team. His legal team, however, clarified that the court's landmark ruling was strictly issued within the boundaries of a United States immigration proceeding. Has nothing to do with the extradition request. The scope of the court's definitive decision remained fundamentally focused on whether Mr. Ofori-Atta met the necessary statutory and legal requirements for an adjustment of status to a permanent resident. That's all. Has nothing to do with the extradition request. You understand? So that's clear, and I've read same from other newspapers and so on. So that's clear. It means that the extradition process still continues. Okay. Now, I agree with Richard that there's too much theater in the attempt to prosecute Mr. Ofori-Atta. I fully agree with you, Richard. There's so much theater, it's unbelievable. This is the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And Article 19.3 states clearly that the trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his presence unless A, he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial, or B, he conducts himself in such a manner as to render the continuation of the proceedings in his presence impracticable and the court orders him to be removed for trial to proceed in his absence. It's clear. There is no reason why Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta cannot be prosecuted in his absence. There's no reason whatsoever. So all of this rigmarole, all of this thing about extradition request and so on and so on, for me it's pure theater, just theater. And on this score, I fully agree with Richard. There is no reason why this is continuing. There's no reason why we're all being just disturbed every day and so on. If there is evidence that Mr. Ofori-Atta has committed crimes and so on, he should be put on trial in his absence. And the courts will make a determination of his guilt or innocence. The law states very clearly that no accused person has an obligation to assist the prosecution. That is why if you are arrested by the police, your Miranda rights are read to you, and your Miranda rights simply says that you have a right to remain silent. And so even if you brought Mr. Ofori-Atta here, if you managed to secure his extradition to Ghana, and he decided not to help, not to talk, and so on, it will be within his rights. So what's all this noise and about extradition and so on? It's funny. It's just funny theater. That is what is happening. And I hope that somebody will do their...
You don't agree with this issue about his caution statement must be taken, he must he must respond to the specific charges that have been leveled against him, so that all of that will be taken into fact. He must also state that I don't want to come to court. Go ahead and try me.
No, the Constitution is clear. If
he doesn't want to.
If his conduct suggests
that he
doesn't want to come,
okay,
you can proceed. You can proceed. Look,
it doesn't say he must state that he doesn't want to come.
No, Article 19. Article 19, subsection A says. It says. Let me start from Article 19. The trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his presence, unless A, if he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial. It's very clear. Very, very clear. I mean, what can be clearer than this?
Right.
You understand? So I'm just,
All right.
But as for the charge of selective justice and so on, I don't know where Richard is coming from.
Okay.
I mean, clearly, I don't know where he's coming from.
Right.
Today, again, and this is not deliberately promoting the Insight.
Right.
But there's an article in the Insight written by John Ofori-Atta.
Okay.
You know John Ofori-Atta?
Yes.
Very credible.
Yes. Yeah.
Highly respected Ghanaian journalist who works in London.
Right.
He actually works for the Africa Report.
Okay.
And he's written an opinion piece titled Free Speech Has Limits.
Okay.
Ghana's law reflects that.
Right.
And it deals with all of these issues.
In other words, free speech is not absolute.
He deals with all of these issues, including selective justice and so on. All of that is dealt with adequately.
I'll take a look at it.
I read it this morning and I was very, very highly impressed by this article written by John Ofori-Atta.
Okay.
Perhaps it may be necessary even to read a portion of it.
Of the piece.
It says, I hope I'm reading the right portion. It says, Ghana's constitution strongly protects freedom of speech and media freedom. Those protections have helped shape the country's democratic reputation and have enabled journalists, opposition politicians, and civil society groups to operate in a relatively open environment for more than 3 decades.
Right.
However, the Constitution also recognizes that rights come with responsibilities. Citizens are free to criticize governments, challenge public officials, and express unpopular opinions. What the law does not automatically protect are actions that cross into areas defined as harmful or unlawful, including threats, incitement, and certain forms of knowingly false communication. And so
All right. Okay. So let me bring it. Let me bring in my viewers.
No, you want to
ask a question?
No,
Please,
it's not a
because I want to
problem
bring
at
it.
all.
It's
not a problem.
Okay, so you see, Kwesi, I agree that there cannot be any blank check issued for free speech. But free speech is fundamental to any democracy. And so when you begin to have conversations about free speech and the borders that must be put around it, you are veering into very dangerous areas where democracy itself will be constrained and be undone, because you can find anything insightful, any comment, just like even what the conversation we're having here. You can find a statement insightful if you want to. And the government, with all the powers that we have created, is capable of criminalizing certain speech as insightful, as hateful, as crossing the line, if you create that environment that it is possible to look at it.
Richard,
Okay.
Can I ask the question back?
So I'm just asking you.
Can I ask the question back?
Yeah, so maybe answer mine.
Can I?
So you, with your experience, do you think that in this time, this point in our democracy, with all that you have in the background, that it is appropriate now to engage that conversation head on, to try to define the borders of free speech?
If I sit on this big platform, Good Morning Ghana platform, and I say that those who agree with me should take up guns and wait for you at the entrance and kill you, you will consider that free speech, for which I should not be arrested. Right now, as we sit here,
that's an extreme case.
And listen, look.
You said that's extreme.
It's not extreme.
Nobody has said that anyway.
Hold on, Richard. That is not extreme. One of the cases we have dealt with recently is somebody actually going on social media, threatening to kill the president and his wife, and to put their bodies in cocoa sacks. This is not an extreme case. This is something that has happened. One of the cases we are dealing with is a member of your political party sitting on television and actually threatening to burn down the headquarters of the National Democratic Congress. This is not extreme. This is real. Should I go on and mention cases we are being dealt with? One of the cases we are dealing with is a senior member of your party saying that a judge has no brains of his own, and that when any matter is put before him, he rushes to the Jubilee House to take instructions. These are the cases we are dealing with. Which of these cases do you think is okay? That if you behave like this, you should be allowed to go home free. Nobody should arrest you.
My advice to you was principle. So you are citing instances, principle. So the minute you engage the conversation, you open a Pandora's box where anybody, because everything you have said now, I can say corresponding things that can be seen as criminal. But in a democracy where you don't want speech and you are defining and kind of pigeonholing things, you can't have a democracy. That's a principle conversation I want you to have.
I'm saying that,
given your history and experience, I think it's dangerous. That's my view. It's dangerous to have that conversation.
Well, my history,
trying to define free speech.
My history, as I understand it, is also a history about sanitizing public discourse. You cannot be calling for freedoms irresponsibly. You understand? There ought to be some measure of responsibility when you call for freedoms. And I don't see how anybody can defend somebody who actually makes a public statement that I'm going to kill the president and I'm going to kill his innocent wife. And when I've killed them, I'll put their bodies in cocoa sacks. Why cocoa sacks? Such reckless, irresponsible statements ought to be dealt with. And dealing with such reckless, irresponsible statements cannot be seen as an affront to the freedom of expression or press freedom.
Okay.
You understand? Now, Richard, I agree with you that in dealing with reckless speech, political colors should not matter. I agree with you on that score. I agree with you that in dealing with reckless speech, it doesn't matter who makes the reckless speech and so on. They must be dealt with. I want to be convinced that in the past, or even in the present, there have been reckless speeches which have been ignored on the basis of the political color of those who made them. And one of the cases which have been cited by people from your party, your communications and so on, strongly, is one in which your presidential candidate, a Muslim, was portrayed as a pork eater. You remember?
Yeah.
It's been cited almost all the time. But I find that repugnant. Painting anybody who is a Muslim as a pork eater is repugnant in the extreme. But how about painting your political opponent, or your opposing political candidate as a drunkard? You remember?
Yeah.
That this whole pork eater thing was a reaction to a deliberate effort to paint John Mahama as a drunkard. Am I lying? If I'm lying, tell me.
Well, that's a fact, actually.
And the person who portrayed John Mahama as a drunkard was not arrested. The person who portrayed Vice President then, candidate Dr. Mahmoud Alhaji Bawumia as a pork eater was not punished. If I'm lying, just tell me.
No, you're right.
You know, in my view, both of them should have been arrested. And indeed, if the person who portrayed President Mahama as a drunkard was arrested, perhaps the second part, where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was portrayed as a pork eater, would not have happened. You understand? So let's be fair. Let's be fair.
No, I would say so. The point for me,
Sanity.
Yes.
Sanity.
So for me, I don't agree.
Sanity.
I don't agree, and I will not indulge that or condone it or support it for anybody to paint His Excellency John Dramani Mahama a drunkard or Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a pork eater and all of that. That's not the politics we're supposed to be doing.
No, that is dirty politics.
But I'm saying that
is very dirty politics.
So whoever did that, I'm coming. Yes. So whoever did that is a member of the NPP or NDC. It's a responsibility of the leadership to bring down a certain value system that corrects those. And I've been on record criticizing insult in our politics and all of that. It doesn't have a place. It takes away from the value and the essence of the conversation we must have. So we should do that. I will not condone that. So if you say that to be a responsibility of the parties to deal with that, but you see, that should not stray to the arena where you kind of constrain people. So those who have legitimate criticisms to advance will be constrained because the fear in the environment says that you don't know what would happen if you speak, you will be arrested. And the manner in which the arrest is orchestrated, it is very intimidating.
Richard, you'd only fear if you don't trust that you can speak responsibly.
No,
you've been speaking the last 2-3 hours. Nobody has come for you.
Right.
Because very critical of government.
Because you speak
Nobody is going to arrest you.
Right.
Because you speak responsibly.
But
Nobody's
we're
going to
not
come for
talking
you.
about ourselves. We're talking about the vast majority.
Yeah,
and you know, ours is a growing democracy.
Yeah.
There are people who don't understand. And
we may not be able to clamp down on everybody.
Right.
But at least let's clamp down one or two people to serve as a deterrent to others, to learn how to speak and speak responsibly. When you threaten to kill people and things,
that's irresponsible.
Yeah.
We must.
There's no day on which I don't criticize this government.
You do.
Every day. Why? Now.
On some issues, yes.
Oh no, he can't criticize.
No,
he can't criticize on
every issue.
So you pick the issues because I can give the issues that you should criticize. This selective justice matter, you should criticize that. Kwesi, you should criticize. But you say you don't see the point. Anyway, that one.
No, everybody picks issues. If you don't pick issues and you are just in the
this one is a common denominator
against everything, good and bad and so on.
No, that's madness.
Then people must question your mental stability.
No. Nobody will question if you say they are doing selective justice.
Just like everybody else, you pick the issues to criticize.
Everybody picks the issues based on your ideological commitments, based on your understanding of society and so on. We all pick the issues. What is wrong with that?
I said that selective justice, that one, ideological or not, is a matter we should.
I've just dealt with that.
But you say you don't know where I'm coming from the selective justice. That one, I think.
I've just dealt with that. I've just dealt with
that. You don't see where I'm coming from.
Yes. How can I see where you're coming from? I've just dealt with that. You understand?
Yes.
So it's clear.
Yeah.
Richard,
There's a.
all of us must understand, and all of us includes your party leadership, must understand that it is not acceptable to be threatening to kill any citizen. Don't talk about the president. Any citizen. It's not acceptable.
No, we agree. There's no problem. With
All
that.
of us
We
must
agree.
accept
Yeah.
that it is not allowed to take your words and twist your words, deliberately change your words. I mean, manufacture words and put them in your mouth. It's not acceptable. We must accept. We must accept that there are consequences for deliberately misinforming the public. We must accept that. All of us have to accept that.
Okay.
If it's done against somebody in the NPP, it is wrong. If it is done against somebody in the NDC, it is equally wrong. We must take a principled position.
All right.
That's all.
Okay. All right.
There's not a difficult matter to discuss.
The recourse should not be criminal prosecution of such things. There's a civil angle
No.
to go.
If
with
you
that.
threaten to kill the president,
No, I'm not
you
talking
must be
about that.
criminally prosecuted.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that. You see, okay. So Uncle, see, the balance we must find is that it borders on our democracy as much as we want to keep order. So
right.
if you are not careful in this era, what we have, in fact, in our history, what we have going for us is this fourth republic.
Okay.
And if you're not mindful and delicate with it in trying to find a good balance between ensuring, accountability and then the sustenance of democracy,
All right.
you might end up jeopardizing both.
Points made.
That's the point I'm making.
Let's bring in our viewers.
No problem.
Yes. So Gideon Ejapon, who is sending us a message from Sefiwi also in the Western North. Sefiwi also, Western North NPP Regional Youth Organizer hopeful. So I like it when people declare where they stand. It makes people appreciate where you're also coming from when you send us these messages. Now it says, Moro, it is deeply worrying how Uncle Kwesi appears completely unfazed when death threats, malicious attacks, and reckless allegations were being made by some prominent NDC members while they were in opposition. Today, we're seeing a sudden wave of selective outreach, and that inconsistency is not just noticeable or questionable. But the man just sat here and is condemned left and right. He says whether it was done yesterday, it was done today, wrong is wrong. So I don't know where you're coming from. Anyway, it's still democracy, so freedom of expression, so free speech. So I'll grant you that. If fairness truly matters, then standards of judgment should not shift depending on who is speaking, and consistency is what gives credibility to public commentary, not convenience. Gideon Ejapon, Sefiwi, also NPP Regional Hopeful. Now, Mansa Musa says that the Kenofurata saga versus dual citizenship debate. Are you still advocating the persons holding dual citizenship to be allowed to take up sensitive public position? Tell me why you still think people who have dual citizen status be allowed to take up ministerial positions. Mansa Musa, Professor Kwesi will come after you, so be careful. But he continues to say, more, my question is that Ken Ofori-Atta did not run the country's economy alone single-handedly. He managed Ghana's finances with many others, those with whom he worked with. 1, what was their role? 2, what they knew. 3, what they know. 4, have they been investigated or been investigated? 5, are those former state administrators cooperating with investigating authorities? 5, have investigations proven that Ken Ofori-Atta's deputies and other senior appointed members of the EMT had no part and therefore cannot be called to give any accounts? 7, my last question is, what exactly are we looking for that requires Ken Ofori-Atta's physical availability without which investigations cannot or should not proceed? 8, now, if a public figure is incarcerated, why shouldn't we know? 9, whose decision was it to keep Sophia Ekufu's resignation secret? Now, you have, how do you call it? You have preempted my next topic. Anyway, so Moro, we need a lot of transparent information from the current authorities. If economic damage was done or not done, we must know. Thanks and good morning from Mansa Musa of Voice of London Radio. Moro, good morning. Samir Dako and his friends and boss, Kwesi Jabin, just want to be heard and defend their salaries. The statement the OSP issued yesterday was complete bunkum. Kwesi Jabin's very existence as the special prosecutor has come to a jarring halt. He's merely dependent on the Ken Ofori-Atta case for his survival in that role. What ill will and selfish parochial interests become the only basis for a special prosecutor to go after someone? Time and truth will expose him. Ken Ofori-Atta does not have to be physically present to account for his stewardship. If the OSP is not the same person who was investigating a dead man, Sir John, where then does all this cacophony come from? Kwesi is inherently incompetent and clueless. He's just feeding fat on taxpayers' money for nothing. Enough of these monkey tricks. Samuel Brian Wabeng from Accra, Awushi specifically. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm, he says, good morning, my brother. The USA can decide to grant Ken Ofori-Atta a residence permit or not. That has nothing to do with our justice system in Ghana. Ken Ofori-Atta can run, but he cannot hide. The reality will catch up with him. The Office of AG and the Office of OSP must make sure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought home to face justice. It is clear Ken Ofori-Atta is running away from accountability and he must not be allowed to do so. I'm even sad to see that functionaries of NPP are happy because Ken has been granted a resident permit. Mr. Hanan and the wife, Dr. Mustafa Ami, Chairman Wuntumi, and other members of NPP are all in Ghana facing the justice system. So Ken alone is avoiding accountability. $98 million of the national criteria which did not see the light of day in my mind. This one here from Kojo Chumbuafo. Kojo Chumbuafo says, good morning, Moro. I never knew that convicts are now circus animals, that people like Richard Hiamwa can buy a ticket to go and objectify. Richard, if you're looking for Sedina, go to the office of Banom and Bailey and buy your ticket. Make sure you buy a ring side ticket. Have some shame. He's
making light of a very serious matter.
Davis Carter from Accra says, good morning, Moro. We should be careful as we downgrade our institutions when we're in opposition. Richard should be careful of his utterance because the NPP will one day come to power. So, should I say I don't trust the state institutions when the NPP is in power? Kwabena Sapo of the NPP says Pratt wanted to take a picture of the African Regent Hotel, asking why he did not want to do that. I don't recall him saying that he won't take a picture of the African Regent Hotel. I don't recall he said, unless of course it's something you're telling us that you know.
I did not want to do.
You said you wanted to take, you did not want to take a picture of the African Regent Hotel. I don't know what he means by that.
Oh.
Did you ever attempt to take what has been termed as the
one shot campaign?
Yes.
I actually took the picture. I have the picture in my office.
Oh, during the protest?
Yes, I took the picture. It's in my office.
Okay. He thought, Kwabena Sapon thought you didn't take it. So he wanted to know why you didn't take it.
No, I did. I took the photograph. In fact, with a camera which was handed over to me by Alhaji Bature.
Oh, okay. May you so rest in peace.
Yes. It's printed. It's a big photograph of that hotel. And it's in my office.
All right. Prince Henry from Koforidia says that he's a regional communications officer hopeful of the NDC. The more the NPP keeps defending and shielding Ken Ofori-Atta, the more Ghanaians will be angry with NPP. The harm Ken Ofori-Atta has caused Ghanaians, of which many had passed through to die, will continue to harm the NPP and Ken Ofori-Atta. The NPP should be ashamed of defending Ken Ofori-Atta because the man has indeed caused pains to Ghanaians. The future is pregnant. Reverend Samuel J. of the PNC says, good morning, Moro, and your panel, Moro. It is important for us to know that everyone has a right to decide where he or she would like to live in this part of the world. But Moro, what is beating my imagination is that Ken Ofori-Atta who believes in Ghana and has served the nation so well, the way that they want us to believe. Why must he at this age seek for another nationality? Maybe my NPP friends can throw a little light on that. You've heard his lawyers say it time and again that Ken Ofori-Atta said he does not trust that he'll be treated fairly. It's as simple as that. This matter, they've repeated this several times.
He's not looking for another nationality. He's looking for a green card.
A green card.
Which grants him permanent residence, not nationality.
Oh, okay. Yes. So Kwabena Sapon says I didn't read his message well. So he says, tell my friend Kwesi Pratt, the same way he wanted to take a shot of the African Regent Hotel. I still don't get the...
Read it.
That's the only thing he said. So, Kwabena Pacho, if you can write a proper sentence, when I say, this one is too scanty.
No, perhaps it needs to be explained to him.
Yes.
Journalists of TV Africa went to take a photograph of the hotel, and they were allegedly arrested and imprisoned in the residence of President Kufuor for a while. Okay? This is the context. So I then decided, in solidarity with the journalists, to also go and take that photograph.
You wanted to be arrested?
To see if you'll be arrested.
And dare the state to react. So that's what I did. It was a solidarity action with journalists of TV Africa who have been arrested for taking a photograph of the hotel.
Oh, okay. So he says Pratt wanted to take a picture of the African Regent Hotel, asking why he did Why did he want to do that? And that's what he's explaining.
I've explained. It was a solidarity action.
It was a solidarity action. Kwame Pacha, I hope you're fine. You're fine now. I'll call him.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, I PENDREAM TV.